Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Cinematic Trinity, where we talk movies, games and TV shows. And in light of anything recent to review, me and Tulip have made our way through the Alien movies. So this week we're going to be ranking them, we're going to be putting them in a tier list. So join us as we rank the Alien films. So here we are in the tier list maker, the old favourite. So, Tulip, obviously I'm a big Alien fan myself. Where would you put yourself on the Alien spectrum in terms of like the fan base?
On a scale of 1 to 10,
I
how much of a fan of the Alien films am I? Well, it's been a running joke for however long I've been alive, 27 years, that I don't like the Alien films and that I think that they're boring and that they're not really for me. But having seen Alien Romulus recently, I really, really enjoyed that film. Like, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was brilliant. So everybody said, well, you know, if you really liked that, then why don't you like all the other Alien films? Because they're kind of, you know, the same, basically. And it's kind of the same premise. And obviously Alien Romulus takes a lot of inspiration from the original film.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's now part of the same franchise. So we did decide to go back and watch them all. And actually, I did quite enjoy them. And I think I understand why I didn't like them when I was little. Because there is a lot of build-up and there is a lot of, like, boring bits, you know.
Okay,
it's not necessarily, like, the scary bits. It's more, like, the downtime that I probably didn't appreciate when I was younger. But now, like, I do really appreciate that sort of stuff. Like, you know, I love a boring film, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's been nice to watch them. So I think that I'm a recent fan. I don't know where that puts me on the scale. At the scale of recent fan.
Yeah. Not a long time fan, but you just hopped onto it now.
Yeah, I'm late to the party with this.
No, but to be fair, like, I rewatched Alien and Aliens last year, went on the cinema trip with your mum and dad. We did a little trivia quiz episode on that after we saw that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, in terms of like 3 onwards, I rewatched them for ages, so it felt good going back to these and like familiarising myself with these again. And you know, we watched a few of like the director's cuts and stuff like that, which were like interesting. We
did, didn't we?
For some of the films. So yeah, no, I think let's start off then with, we'll go in order, okay? So Alien 1. Where would you put Alien 1?
Now, the thing is, it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Right.
What came first, Romulus or Alien? So, I watched Romulus first and enjoyed it first. So to me, that's like 10 out of 10, loved that film, absolutely brilliant, like whatever. But Alien, I loved it, but it was the second one that I watched. Whereas for you, it's probably the opposite.
Well, no, the first
Does that
film,
make sense?
the first film I watched was Resurrection, actually, if we're going to be technical.
Oh, well, there you go then.
And then I rewatched like all the other films. So okay, I get what you mean.
You get what I mean, yeah.
So you're still thinking high end though?
Yeah, because I'm thinking A tier, but maybe not S tier. But I feel like I'd put Romulus in S tier because I just loved it so much.
Right. Okay.
But I also do feel like I need to watch it again just to like solidify whether it's just, you know, a wrinkle in time or whatever.
I'm gonna pop
in S tier.
Yeah, in S tier.
To be fair, I'm happy with that because it was absolutely brilliant, and I just love Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that she's brilliant, and I've always liked her. Like, I never like disliked her in the films or anything when I watched them previously, but God, she is just fantastic. Like, I want to be her. Like,
well, it's just such
brilliant.
a inspirational film. It looks brilliant. Like, the acting's good. The atmosphere's
we were so
good.
surprised by some of the shots, weren't we? Of like when they first discover the ship, and it's this dark, moody scene of the ship, and we were like, God, this looks fantastic. Like, honestly, looks brilliant, and all the practical. Yeah, to be fair, all like the practical effects, everything is just fantastic. Yeah. And like, I was, you know, had genuine fear.
Well, that's the thing.
Like it was genuinely scary, but I loved all the build up and like it. Yeah, no, it was very, very good.
Well, I remember when the climax came and it was obviously the end, like Alien on the ship. When it was in the pipes, you found that very like, oh my God,
that was
like,
awful.
You know, but yeah, I think the tension's really good, the horror's really good. It's just a good introduction to the Alien. And it's just such a solid movie. Like, it is so good. And the behind the scenes stuff and learning more about them making it is just really,
we did watch a lot of behind the
really
scenes.
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so S tier then for
tier.
Alien. Aliens now, so it's a bit, it's
I really like Aliens.
Yeah, Aliens. I think I'm
I
gonna
think
chuck
that's
this
one
in.
of my favourites.
Gonna chuck this in S tier as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a solid sequel. It's like really good action. It's like, it goes to the other end. It's like action horror. It's not just horror.
Yeah, but it doesn't like take away from the suspense.
Yeah.
Everything, and like the characters are still there, and it doesn't like, it's not just like pure action like maybe.
Well, like the bits when they like find the hive for the first time, like that's still very tense, and like when the aliens come off the walls and stuff, like that's all really cool.
Yeah.
But like the characters and stuff, the Colonial Marines, like they're all really memorable. Like Hicks, Hudson, Apone, like they're all really good characters.
Yeah.
And like just performance wise, very good. Sigourney Weaver's great. Like at the end, the end fight with the Alien Queen is just so memorable and just
iconic, really, isn't
it?
Yeah,
exactly. It's what made her like a feminine action hero.
Yeah.
Like she was like one of the original action heroes
Yeah.
like, for women.
And a child actor that we didn't hate, so that's a bonus.
Newt, to be fair, like going off previous films this year, Newt was very good. I think definitely, again, just like practical effects, it all looks fantastic, and just the look of the film is everything.
It does. It very much is a sequel to the first film, and it's you can just tell,
and it's like not unneeded either. Like you could have just had the first
they could have
Alien.
left it, but this is like worthy of its own film and its own like. God, I keep hitting this.
Not my Colonial Marines.
This is so
power.
sharp. The little claws, like don't. And even this, like, it's
don't
not,
touch the power though. The statue. What are you doing? It's a collector's item.
Shut up.
Very good film, like Aliens. But the first two are just so like just up there as like good sci-fi horror films.
They are.
Like, so I think anything below S is just they deserve all the praise that they can get.
Okay.
Moving on to rewatching these films. It's such a mixed bag of emotions and feelings like after you come out of these movies. So we're going on now to Alien 3, which we watched the assembly cut for. We didn't watch like the original cut.
Oh, we should say as well that for Aliens we watched the director's cut.
Yeah.
We did it?
Yeah. Which like there's some good scenes. It's like when they find like the spaceship for the first time and like the facehuggers get out, and there's like the scene with talking about Ripley's daughter and stuff, which links back to Alien Isolation, which I'll talk about a bit later.
Will you now?
Yeah, it's in this tier list apparently.
Oh, how did that get in there?
Well, someone made it. Someone made it, not me. But yeah, Alien 3, like again, that is one where when you read the backstory of like the production of the film and just how shoddy it was and like the nightmare that it was, like the director hates the film now, like he disowns it, and it was like his first film that he ever made, like David Fincher, and he's gone on to do like Seven, and I think he did that Panic Room movie that you really like.
Oh, what do you mean that I really like? You really liked it?
Yeah, no, but like you introduced it to me.
Yes, I did with Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
And Kirsten Stewart. Kristen Stewart, yeah. I was thinking of Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah. But yeah, like, so, yeah, this film, it did annoy quite a few people, I think, like, just in terms of, like, what it does. I mean, opens and, like, Hicks and New are dead, so obviously it takes away the happy ending of the second film.
Yeah.
And it just throws Ripley into, like, a really depressing scenario, and it's kind of just non-stop like dread throughout the movie. There's not really any.
Just remind me which one Alien 3 is.
It's the one where Ripley dies and like she has the
with the lead.
Yeah, with the lead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's the one where it bursts out the cow in the assembly cut.
Yeah.
Which is why we watched the assembly cut, because Tulip really likes dogs. So I thought, oh, you know what? There's a difference between these two.
Stop saying that I really like things. You really like dogs as well.
I do.
Don't put all the onus on me.
I do. But would it? Yeah, but I can imagine your reaction.
I would have been inconsolable.
Yeah. So the difference being that the alien either chest burst from a dog or like a dead cow. So we went for the dead cow one. But then the assembly cut was also like half an hour longer than the theatrical cut, and like they change how some of the scenes are like placed and stuff like that. So I think really like it does add a lot more to the plot. Like when we were going through it, there's like a whole different side plot where they actually trap the alien and then one of the inmates like releases it. That was never in the theatrical version. So when we were talking about it, like you were genuinely amazed that that wasn't there.
Yeah, because my like my not interpretation, but my like what I know about like director's cuts and whatever it cuts here, producer's cut, whatever.
Yeah.
Is that it's the same film, but you know, it was just a few like deleted scenes or maybe like a few different bits of dialogue that they wanted to add in, but they couldn't due to time constraints. But this is like really different. Like it's almost like, you know, Justice League, you know, like Zack Snyder's Justice. Like he took all the footage and was just like, right, I'm just going to make my own film.
I mean, to be fair,
it's amazing how like you can shoot something, but like how much the editing matters. Like I don't think you realise how much the editing matters until you watch something that is so different.
To be fair, this isn't really a director's cut either, because it's called the assembly cut, but the director had no involvement in them making it. I think it's more like the editor of the film redid it. So like I think the fact that they added in all this extra footage, like I feel like it did drag at points. Like again, because it's kind of like it does feel like a slog. It is very like there's just not much like happiness or like humor in it. So I think coming off of it, it did feel like a very average experience, and it's like a mixed bag.
Yeah,
of like,
but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'd still say it had some good moments in it, but like when you go from like Alien and Aliens to Alien 3, it is a pretty drastic like drop in quality. But yeah, no means like a bad movie, but it is like, oof, something's happened here.
Yeah, like
so
this isn't the same. I was going to say B.
Yeah, I think
just because it's probably his.
These things can change.
But I think because I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like if you think of it outside the context of how good the other two films were.
Yeah. I mean, again, these things are subject to change as we maybe talk about the other films. Like sometimes you might change placements. So moving on to Alien Resurrection. So this is where Ripley gets brought back. She's like a clone, and it's set on like a space station. Well, they're all set on space stations, but yeah, she's like a clone, and then the aliens break out on like a space station, but there's like a group of space pirates there, and they're like they all team up to try and escape. So
the thing is, I would just love to hear Sigourney Weaver talking about how she came back to these films.
Well, apparently she really liked the script of like this one. Yeah. That's why she wanted to do it, because like Alien 3, she would only come back if she died and if she got like a producer's credit. Yeah. Whereas like this film here, I think again it was just she really liked. It was Joss Whedon of all people.
Yeah,
so the person like linking back to Justice League, who did the first version of Justice League, which was crap, and like the Avengers movies and stuff like that. So yeah, he wrote this, but like it. Yeah, honestly, this is another one where like the tone is just completely off.
It is completely different. Yeah, it's not really like an Alien film. Like it feels even more different than Alien 3. Like Alien 3 is kind of like, oh, you know, you're still kind of in this, but Alien Resurrection is like totally different vibe.
Yeah, I mean there's stupid bits at times. There's still some like memorable points, like, you know, the whole like Alien. That's like the first film that did like an Alien hybrid thing with like that creepy like newborn thing at the end. And then, you know, I always like the bit where the guy's got the chest burster and then he chest bursts through the guy's head. He like puts him in front of it. That's
really cool. And I like that they go and see, like, because obviously Sigourney Weaver's a clone, and like, but she doesn't realise that there's been lots of her like beforehand. And she's like sees kind of like the evolution of them trying to clone her, and there's somebody there that's, you know, like barely alive basically, but is alive. And she kind of like tortures it. And,
kill me.
Yeah. And I did like, you know, I liked that.
Did you like the basketball scene where she shoots the hoop?
Yeah.
That wasn't actually a first take thing. I think I told you during the film there was, but I think that's an urban legend that she did it on the first try.
I thought you just said that she did it for real.
No, she did do it for real. It just wasn't.
I was just impressed by the fact that she did it for real. So I don't care if it took her 100 times to do it.
So no, that's cool. I mean, I think the cast is still all right. Like Sigourney Weaver's okay. She's playing like a different version of Ripley.
A different character, isn't she?
Yeah,
so.
But then like you got like Ron Perlman. He's like pretty goofy, like, you know, weird. There's
some
weird.
Funny like lines in this as well, isn't there?
Well, you like the bit where it's the bit in the water and he's like shooting the alien, and then he like goes back and then it's the spider and he's just like, oh, and then he like shoots the spider. That bit's so stupid. But
that was pretty funny.
There's some dumb bits of dialogue. There's some dumb like character choices. There's that bit, like rewatching it, I completely forgot like the first guy who like majorly dies, like the captain. He's like got 2 guns in his hand, and then he goes down a corridor and there's like a 3rd gun on the floor. So somehow he's like, yeah, I'll take that. Picks it up and then he gets like ambushed and killed. So I was like, well, why did you need a 3rd gun? What are you doing, you like moron? But yeah, it's like, definitely a step down even from like Alien 3. So not awful.
I still enjoyed it in a weird way.
That's the thing, yeah. There's still fun factor to it.
Yeah, you can still have fun with it if you're not like over-analysing it.
Yeah.
Like if you're thinking about, oh, well, the alien and I don't like the story and the story doesn't fit in with Alien 1, you know. And if you're thinking about it in that way, then
I think the
you're
thing
probably
is,
not
it's
gonna
like
enjoy it, but it's just a film.
It's like 200 years in the future as well from like Alien 3, so it's not like a direct. It is obviously a direct sequel, but it's not like directly afterwards. Like stuff can change. You could always fill in the gaps if you really wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like make another movie. So yeah, I'm gonna put it into C.
Yeah, I
mean, if we go
say
like D being the most like awful, like worst of the worst, I don't think any Alien film is awful. They're just so like mixture of
different.
like either you really love them or you really like. Yeah. So moving on to another like mixed bag, which is Prometheus.
Yeah.
So yeah, Prometheus is the prequel movie, which Ridley Scott's back. He did like Prometheus and Covenant. So he's back telling the story about like the engineers and stuff like that. Where did like humanity come from? So it's not really an alien movie. There's not like there's no xenomorphs in it. Apart from like the end bit where that like the tiny little one bursts out of the engineer's chest, but that's not really a xenomorph. That's something different. What did you think about Prometheus?
See, I thought it was a little bit boring. But not like in a good way. Not like good boring. Like bad boring. Not like talky boring. Like
dragged.
Yeah, long. And you know, once I watched, I feel like you really have to watch both Prometheus and Covenant to really like understand why Prometheus was made. Do you know what I mean? It's not a very good standalone film.
Okay.
Whereas all the others so far have been pretty good, like standalone films.
Okay,
you know.
Right.
And I think that it was interesting, and I liked the story of it. Like, I think the story was good, and it's interesting to find out a little bit more about what's happening and stuff like that. But it just did drag for me. Like, I didn't like. It's a better film in terms of like cinematography and CGI and effects.
Yeah.
And the story is probably better than like Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. But I enjoyed the other two more than Prometheus. So it like knocks it down a peg, even though it's technically a better made film.
There's a lot of like film, like I call them film bros, but like people who like really, analyze films and I have a love for like really picking them apart.
Yeah.
I'm general, like, I will appreciate like good cinematography, like themes and stuff like that, but that's not like, I won't use that in like the sense of a review. I won't like be like, oh my god, I really love the themes of this movie. It'll be like, I had a good time with this, I didn't have a good time with this.
Yeah.
So yeah, Prometheus is like, there's some interesting stuff here about like, where did we come from? What if we actually met like our creators? Would we feel like satisfied? And like, I think Michael Fassbender is probably the best part of Prometheus, as David.
Really good. Yeah.
Like as that like prequel, like duology, the two films, like he's the best part. Like David as a character is really, really cool. I like his like motivations and stuff. Like that's really nice. 100%. I think like the cast is good. I like Naomi Rapace is good. Some of the others are like pretty forgettable, to be honest. I mean, like Charlize Theron's in this movie, but like she doesn't really.
Oh my god! Yeah, she is, isn't she?
Idris Elba's in it.
Oh my god! Yeah, because sorry, I'm like it's all coming back to me now. It just goes to show like how boring it was. But yeah, Idris Elba had this. Oh my god! Yeah, he was in it. Yeah. But it really annoyed me that Idris Elba had an American accent, where there's people with Scottish accent, British accent. So clearly they're not all American. Yeah. So it's like, why does Idris Elba have to do his American accent? Just because people think he's American, like he's British, let him do his British accent. Like I don't understand it, Yeah. But anyway, that's by the by. But yeah, there was a lot of people in it that you don't really remember. You just remember the fact that that David is in it, and it's Michael Fassbender, and he really carries whole film.
Yeah, he's really good. Like just he is like evil in the movie. Like he's got a good like sinister sense to him. And like probably the only ever like highlight really is when it's like the pregnancy thing, like when it's the like cesarean and like the squid thing gets taken out of it. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah,
like,
that is a pretty cool
good
scene.
Like practical effects and stuff like that with the actual squid and it's pretty tense like scenario, but otherwise like
there's some good tension, but not like.
But then it's also like full of dumb stuff, like the whole like I'll never get over like how the guy who brought the mapping equipment got lost. Because that's when, like, he brought the orbs, they're, like, mapping out the structure.
Yeah.
They can always talk to the ship and stuff. They got, like, the radio, and then they're like, right, you guys explore this room. We're going to go off now and go back to the ship. And then, like, the main crew go back to the ship, but they're still stuck there. So it's like, how, out of all the people, did you get lost? Like, that's so stupid.
That is pretty stupid.
And, like, how... I like, agree, this is, like, one argument that gets thrown around is, like, how out of, like, those two, you got the map guy and then, like, the geologist... Not the geologist... like the biologist guy, and they found like the snake thing in the water.
Yeah.
And they were like terrified like a few scenes ago about like a bunch of dead alien bodies, but then like this weird alien snake thing, they're like, oh, look at you, oh, aren't you fascinating? And then like they die.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's a bit stupid. I don't care about the critique about the, you know, oh, the ship was like rolling and they were running in its path. It's like, you don't know what's gonna happen. Like if that was you.
Yeah.
Especially because like it does,
I
like...
mean, but to be fair, you always say that.
Yeah.
Why are they running like forwards? That's what I always say. I always feel like I'd run like towards an explosion.
Yeah.
Like if it was like a you know, those kind of things, I'd probably just run towards it so that it's, you know.
I mean, like, because also...
You're never going to run away from it, are you?
I think for this as well, it rolls, and then it does fall that way. Like, it does...
Yeah.
So, it does, like, you would have been... Like, she almost does die as well, like Naomi Rapace. I think she gets saved by, like, a rock or something. She gets wedged between a rock.
Yeah, she does.
So, there is some stupid stuff. Like, I really want to enjoy this film and, like, put it up there with, like, Alien and Aliens.
Yeah, but it just
I really
wasn't
can't. Like,
enjoyable.
Yeah. But, like...
Like, I don't want to watch it again.
Yeah, that's... I think I used to really love it, like, back in the day. I don't know why. Yeah, like, I had it on DVD and I feel like I rewatched it, like, a lot. But it's probably, like, peak of my Alien, like, love, I guess. And, like, Prometheus was, like, the new addition to the franchise.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
You were young and stupid.
I know. Like, honestly, yeah, just, like... it's great that people love it, and like, you know, Ridley Scott's a good director. It's a good visual film, and the effects and stuff are cool. But
it kind of like reminds me of like Dune in terms of like the way it's made and stuff like that. But Dune is a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
You know, like the actual backstory is a lot more interesting in Dune, whereas this backstory is interesting, but it's not like really interesting.
Yeah, I get you.
And also, we don't know enough for it to be like really interesting. You're still kind of like figuring it out.
Yeah, no, I get you. So where would you put
B?
Yeah.
I think that is
appropriate.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
Second prequel movie, sorry. Alien Covenant.
See, I enjoyed Covenant a lot more than I did Prometheus, which is absolutely hilarious because when I went to the cinema to see it, I thought it was just the most awful film that I'd ever seen in my whole entire life. I was so bored. I thought it was just ridiculous how they were playing the recorder together. And to be fair, watching that scene back, I was just like, this is a little bit stupid. But I think because I've got so much more context now, because when I watched Covenant in the cinema, I didn't really know like the story of the other films. Like I'd like seen bits and bobs, you know, but not like properly sat down and watched them like I have now.
Yeah.
So I have a lot more context. So I was just enjoying the story a lot more, and like Michael Fassbender and his, you know, interaction with himself and is it Walter?
Yeah, David and Walter.
As Walter. Yeah. I was just enjoying that interaction a lot more, even though it's a little bit silly. You know, whereas before I didn't really care about David and Walter and how they're the same, and because I hadn't seen Prometheus, so I was completely clueless. So I think that in order to enjoy Covenant, you have to watch Prometheus, but Prometheus is pretty boring, so just watch Covenant. You know, like I'd watch Covenant again, but I wouldn't watch Prometheus again.
And it's interesting, like going back to people's reviews and stuff like afterwards, like, you know, after we watched each film, I'd go on Letterboxd and be like, what did people actually think about this?
Yeah.
And like Covenant is like, people call it like a course correction because like Prometheus came out, there wasn't much alien stuff in it, so like it got a bit of a mixed reaction. So it's almost like them being like, oh crap, people didn't like it, we need to put like an alien in it now. We need to like, because I don't think their original plans was to actually have like a xenomorph in it. It was just to maybe continue without it and maybe focus more on the engineers. But that never happened. So it's kind of like almost like not as bad as like a Rise of Skywalker situation. Like, oh, no one liked Last Jedi, let's go back to what people like and just really the Emperor is back, and you know, but this is like, let's just bring back the eggs, the face huggers and the aliens and the chest bursters and stuff like that.
But they're back, but they're not back with the same kind of force as they were previously.
Yeah, I think I really liked Covenant when it first came out. I saw it like twice in cinema, and like when I saw it the second time with Kieran, actually, he came out and he didn't really like it, so I was a bit like,
Yeah.
oh, what are you talking about? Like, I really enjoyed it. But yeah, watching it like this time around, it's kind of like, especially like, again, comparing it to the other films, it's a bit like, where does this really sit for me? Because
Yeah.
first of all, the alien being complete CGI is awful. I really hate.
Yes.
I hate that.
I do agree.
In this movie, like, you know, in like the neomorph and stuff like that, like the white alien that comes out like the back and stuff. That's what it's called, the neomorph.
Thank you for that information.
Yeah,
Michael.
well, I told you that apparently it's not even a xenomorph, it's a protomorph because it looks slightly different. But yeah, like they're all CGI, so you're a bit like, oh, that looks a bit
Yeah,
dodgy.
it doesn't have the same.
I'm not terrified by it, you know,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. So that was a big thing. I was like, this just does not look that great.
Yeah.
But like, you know, again, the cinematography's here. Like that looks okay. Story-wise, like again, Michael Fassbender just really
He's brilliant, isn't he?
he carries it. Like,
Yeah, he does.
I just almost would have maybe preferred like seeing more like a David and Walter movie, like rather than like, the alien crap happening around. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that stuff is
I mean,
interesting.
I think I would, because there was like hints to David sort of almost like having like a relationship, or that he could form a relationship, you know, like father relationship with the alien.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I would have loved to have seen more of that, to see like if there is
Yeah.
actually a way to control it, because I still don't understand what the alien's motivation is for being so aggressive, and like, because I know that he is trying to just like reproduce, and I suppose that's his motivation.
Well, it's an animal,
But
isn't it? At the end of the day?
yeah, but it's just interesting, you know, that there may be something that's like higher up the food chain than it, whereas he's like the top of the food chain. So I would have loved to have seen more of that, because I think everything that was kind of happening on the ship, that all just kind of felt secondary. Like I didn't really care
the whole like
about
Covenant,
any of them.
Yeah, the Covenant crew stuff really does. It takes a while to kickstart, and like they have to get to the planet and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Which again, the space stuff looks cool. Like when they go into spacewalks and stuff, and it's like them in the yellow like suits, which again they look
Yeah.
more like practical and stuff. That looks cool. But then like them having to actually go to the planet, and then it's like, right, we know it's going to kick off now and stuff like that. You're just kind of waiting for it to happen.
You are.
Which, and like again, when it does, like the backburster's really cool, and that guy
Yeah,
when the neomorph comes out.
fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. Like body horror.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
some
yeah, yeah,
really cool bits with that.
And, like,
Sorry,
the-
keep spitting, but you have to wait a long time for it though.
Yeah, and,
and
like,
it's
the-
not like
And like seeing the evolution of the black goo is like cool because it's meant to be
Yeah.
like David dropped the black goo on the
Really
planet.
Sorry.
That's alright. David dropped the black goo on the planet, so like all the plants mutated, and then they like just spew like the spores, and that's how they
Yeah.
get infected. So it's like that. That was pretty cool to like watch.
Yeah, I just really don't like. I mean, that's probably quite harsh to say I don't like her, but the actress, like the main actress in it, what's her name?
Catherine Waterston.
She was in Fantastic Beasts, and she was also in that Afraid film, which we've seen recently. And
Something
there's
about her,
something
is there?
about her acting
Right.
that I just don't like believe a word she says. Like, I'm not like bought into her. Like, I'm not like with Michael Fassbender. Like I
Right,
didn't.
yeah.
I wasn't looking at Michael Fassbender. Like I was looking at the character. You know, whereas her, I was just like,
Yeah.
you weren't very good in Fantastic Beasts, and you're not very good in this.
That's a bit brutal.
She wasn't very good in Fantastic Beasts, though.
Well, I don't really. Well, to be honest, she wasn't very memorable, and I'm pretty sure they dropped her. She wasn't in the.
I don't remember.
She wasn't in the third one. I don't think.
Did we watch it?
Yeah, because we did
With
our
Mads
Harry Potter
Mikkelsen.
review. Yeah. She wasn't in that one.
Oh, it was so rubbish, wasn't
Yeah,
it? What
yeah.
a shame. What an
Yeah.
absolute shame. But yeah, no, she wasn't very good
No.
in them. And I think that's always going to be massive. Unless she
Yeah.
does something that's really, really good. She's not done anything that's like been brilliant that I've seen her in. So I can't take myself away from the Fantastic
Fairs.
Beasts stuff.
No,
You know?
I can get that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
again like people have compared her to like be trying to be like Ripley and stuff like that, which I mean, it's hard to like.
Yeah.
It's hard
I
to
also
avoid.
just didn't like her hair. Like, I just don't really
Right,
think that
yeah.
it suited her face shape.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
And not that it, like, obviously, like, she can have short hair, like, whatever. But it's, yeah.
This is a
that
really
it
weird
was-
critique of this movie. It's just
that's how my
yeah.
brain works, though,
Yeah,
Michael.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I care about what people are wearing and
Yeah.
what they look like.
Yeah.
Even though it's really shallow of me, but I just think it's like some interesting choices, you know.
No, I
Clearly
get you.
that's a choice. Isn't
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
you
No,
know?
I get you.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Covenant's a weird one. Like in terms of what I felt coming out of it, because there is some interesting bits in it. Again, Michael Fassbender just really just holds it up like
Everything, like, I don't care about anything else apart from his scenes.
Which is, it's a shame that we didn't get like a third movie in the prequel like trilogy to actually see how we got from like, you know, David to the star of Alien, like that ship being on that particular planet, because that's probably what it was all leading to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you could have done more of David's experiments. There was like a whole thing as well, which it boggles the mind. They did like YouTube, they did like some shorts for it, like before the film came out, like teasers. And they did a teaser of how like David and Shaw got to the planet and like him dropping the stuff on the engineers. But like, so they got Naomi Rapace back, but they didn't actually get her in the final movie. They used her for like a 5-minute short prequel short story, and then she was gone. So it was like, why didn't you just have her in the movie? Like that would have been so much more interesting to have like scenes of her and David, because like they played off really well together.
They did. Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a few missteps here. Again, it's not a bad Alien film. There's just really, it's just held back again, particularly like the effects and just what it wants to try and do, I think.
Yeah.
So,
but I did prefer it to Prometheus, but I don't know whether it's
like
A tier.
If I put it into B tier, out of like what we've got in B tiers, we've got Alien 3, Covenant, and Prometheus. Where would it be sort of Alien 3 on top, like top B tier, and then Covenant and Prometheus? Where did you think about Alien 3 compared
I think that it'd be Alien 3 and Covenant kind of on the same level, and then Prometheus a little bit lower.
Yeah, okay. Moving on to a return to form, Alien Romulus, which we've obviously reviewed.
S-tier.
Yeah, which of it...
I just thought it was brilliant. I just absolutely loved it.
It teeters between the two for me. Like, it is definitely a top 3 Alien movie. Like, there's no doubt about that. But I think in my review, you know, stuff like that, some of the references, like callbacks, I thought were just a bit forced, and the whole like Ian Holm, like bringing back Ash thing, just felt off. Which I don't know if that really that did hamper my enjoyment. Like even on a rewatch, I was like, Jesus Christ, this looks awful. Like why have they done this? Like, but otherwise, like again, it's just such a solid Alien film. Like, you know,
and it's so like the originals.
With
Aliens, to me it's like it's really it's a true continuation of the first film, and I think Romulus fits in with that, whereas all the others don't fit in with that.
Yeah, I get you. So if I put it,
I just think that we should put it in S tier because I really enjoyed it.
Screw it. Low end S tier.
Yeah.
Put it. But I think otherwise, like Alien Romulus, like that's a pretty good like structure of the three.
Yeah.
Bonus round we got here. Alien Isolation. This is more my forte.
I don't know.
As a horror game, very, very good. I'm going to put it into A. Like, it's a bit of Alien property. It could very well be an S tier for me. Like, I need to replay it. But, like, honestly, it's one of the best horror games I've ever played. As, like, a continuation of, like, the Alien.
Is that the one where you've got the thing and
the motion tracker,
beeps and
stuff? Yeah. Honestly, just so good. Like,
is that the one that you tried to play without getting killed? But really, all you do is just pause it and restart it when you get killed.
Yeah.
So it's cheating, really.
Nah, don't care.
The trophy still pops.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, exactly. So I think, that, if you want a continuation as well, like, you know, Alien, Romulus, Isolation, Aliens, like, it's all such a good continuity, because, like, Alien Isolation follows Ellen Ripley's daughter.
Amanda Ripley.
That's her name, Amanda Ripley.
The daughter.
So it's Ripley's daughter, trying to find, like, her. So it's really cool, like, again, just the visuals and stuff like that. Like, you know, Romulus very much takes from those films and looks visually, like, that's, you know, why it's so freaking good. It's like, it just looks
But it also
part.
takes from, like, Prometheus and Covenant, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it takes from Alien Isolation as well. Like, the director played him was, like, really inspired. So, like, that should give you an idea of, like, in terms of, like, an Alien property, Isolation's been really influential.
I think it just goes to show, you know, like, with Romulus and some other films that we've seen, when people are like really passionate about something, it just makes for a much better film. Like if the director or the people that are behind the film are just trying to like money grabbing, the film's just going to be rubbish. Like you have to have like that passion there.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And it's such a shame that films like just aren't really going that way at the moment. Like I feel like films are just rubbish, and then you've got a few gems, and we all go, "This is what we want. We want more films like this," but nobody listens. You know.
I get you.
Look at me on my high horse.
I know. Look at you, film bro. And then a quick final wrap up here, which we haven't rewatched these, but I'll tell you, Alien versus Predator.
See, I don't remember them. But I have watched them.
Yeah.
And I've watched them more than the other Alien films.
Really?
Which is funny, yeah.
I haven't watched
like,
them for a few years, to be fair.
Yeah, but I don't remember enough to put them on the ranking.
Well, AVP is going to go in C tier for me because again, it's like there is some fun stuff in the movie. Like they're on like a pyramid, and then like they all coincide. It's like humans, predator, aliens. It's like pretty cool stuff, you know. It's like a PG like 13 movie, like a 12A kind of thing. So it's not like extra violent, but there's some cool like fight scenes and stuff like that. So I think. There was this is a weird like tangent, but there was a special features in like either like on the DVD for either Alien versus Predator or like the second Alien versus Predator, and they had like a fact file thing on like the Alien and Predator, and it like showed stuff from the previous movies. So I think actually in a way that's what got me to watch the previous movies. I was like, wow, this is really cool, and there's like the face huggers and stuff like that, and it went over like the life cycle and like the acid bud. I was like, this is really cool, I need to go pick these up.
Bless you.
But I mean, on like, you know, putting them in the grand scheme of things, not very good Predator film or like not very good Alien film,
but it got you into the
others.
others.
Exactly, so I can
How
thank
old
it
were
in a
you
way.
when you watched that then?
I got a clue. It definitely wasn't like 18 or 15. I think it was like probably like 12 or 13 probably. I caught Alien Resurrection on Film 4 one night. That's again why that was one of my first Alien films I watched. Was that it was just on Film 4, and it was like the bit with the clones, actually, I think was like the first scene. So I was like, oh, what's all this about? And then kept watching. I was like, wow, this is really like in my like 12-year-old brain, wow, this is really cool. And then I obviously watched the other ones. I was like, wow, these are good as well.
That's adorable.
Alien versus Predator Requiem is probably the worst. Like, it is so dark, not in terms of like tone. It is just crap to look at. Like,
What
I think,
lighting? What like watching Game of Thrones?
we watched it around your mum and dad's house once, actually, and I think we had to try and like turn the brightness up on their TV because honestly, it is
I don't remember that.
absolute crap. Like to watch, it is so like they need your brightness like turned up fully to like enjoy the movie because there's like stuff at night time, there's stuff in the sewers, even like when it's in like a well lit room, it's dark. But yeah, otherwise like. There's some good, like, violent stuff in this, like what the aliens and, like, predators do, but otherwise just a bit crap story, really. It's, like, set on Earth, and it, like, follows, like, a group of random people, including, like, a pizza boy, and they need to, like, get out the sea, and it's just a bit, like,
Yeah.
very mid, like, very crap.
Rubbish.
Yeah, it's very, very mid, very crap, very demure. Oh, that's... There should be like a negative version of that.
Not very demure.
So there we go. So to recap, we've got S tier, Aliens, Alien Romulus, Alien Isolation, B, Alien 3, Covenant and Prometheus, C, Alien Resurrection, Alien vs Predator, and then D, Alien vs Predator, Requiem. I need to think what Requiem actually means.
What the word Requiem?
Yeah. Like,
let me Google it. Let's Google it right now.
Hang on.
Let's get on this.
Well, I'm screen recording right now. I can just do this. Requiem. God, this is awful. A mass for a dead person.
Oh, like a funeral.
I guess so, yeah.
So Requiem for a Dream, Funeral for a Dream.
So I guess there's that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Isn't it?
Or a musical service or composition in honour of the dead.
Well, that's what.
Mozart's
so like got that.
Requiem.
Yeah.
Okay.
A bit of history lesson
So it's
for
like
you
a
there.
service.
Yeah.
Essentially, service or a piece of music or something for a dead person.
So why they gave a cool meaning to the Alien vs Predator movie?
So does the name Requiem actually have context in terms of the plot of the film?
A lot of people die. A lot of aliens die.
It's a symbol of death.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, very weird. Very weird.
Interesting.
But there you go. I think maybe in the future, to be fair, we'll have to tackle the Predator movies. Thankfully, you'll be pleased to know there's not like seven. There's not like 7 of them. There's more like 4 or 5.
Let's just pause there. Let's not start a new film series when we've already in between however many series of films.
I mean,
we did well to get through this one, but we said that we were going to start watching the X-Men ones. And we watched the first one. And then we've not really picked it back up again because it's just, like...
There's a lot more of those.
I think because I know there's so many, it's like we're going to be doing this for like 2 years at the rate we're going. So...
Exactly. Well, at least we know for Alien, we can play Alien Isolation and we can rewatch Alien, Aliens and Alien Romulus, and all the rest can just be like, you can take them or leave them.
Yeah, I'd like to rewatch Aliens.
Yeah.
I don't know why, I just like that one.
Fantastic. I'll get you to play Aliens Colonial Marines, the best video game ever, which for some heinous reason isn't on this tier list. So
Where would you put it in the tier list, babe?
probably, I wonder if I put it in high end B, like above Alien 3, because it, as a video game, it's very like the story again is very like, oof, they've made some choices here.
But your enjoyment level.
Yes, yeah, me and Kieran, it hold a special place in our hearts. He's not here at the moment to corroborate
Oh
that. Yeah, so I put it there. But yeah, I think as a tier list, we've done it. We've ranked the Alien movies. We succeeded.
That was very difficult.
Yeah, I know. But that is us for this week anyway. I don't even know what we might be covering next week if we do see you next week. Hopefully.
Speak No Evil film. The one
yes,
with,
Speak No Evil, James McAvoy. Yes.
Yeah. The one that it took me a while to realise what film it actually
God,
was.
yeah,
There was a lot of conversations.
Me and Tube had an argument about it because basically, like, we've been to the cinema like probably 3 or 4 times in the past like month, and every time we've been there, there's been a trailer for See No Evil.
Speak No Evil.
Whatever.
See or Speak?
Speak. I think it's Speak, yeah.
We'll
the James McAvoy thriller movie. So I had to be like, oh, should we go see it? And you're like, what's that? And I was like, the film that we've seen a trailer for like 3 or 4 times now, and it's just like the James McAvoy one. What? It's just like, oh.
Although I have heard that James McAvoy is really good in it.
I'll look forward to it. He's good.
I do want to see it.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
So we might be talking about that.
Anyway.
And in a few weeks, looking at the calendar, it will be Joker Folie à Deux to talk about. Folie à Deux! It'll be that to talk about.
Oh gosh,
I'm looking forward to that though.
I'm looking forward to watching it. Like, I hope, but I've just heard like a few,
it's very mixed
bits and bobs.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be rubbish. I'm so desperate for it to be good. Otherwise, we're just gonna have to watch the original Joker, and we'll just review that again.
Yeah, exactly.
For the millionth time.
Yeah. Bravo. But I want to thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Cinematic Trinity. In the meantime, though, I've been Michael,
and I've been Tulip.